because you get crap? I
We
mean,
don't
keep it 100.
we don't really expect anything. Men don't really expect nothing.
So is that why you don't care about Father's Day? Help me out
Pretty
here.
pretty much. Pretty much. That's what I've been saying. We don't really care about it. I
Well,
mean,
guess
it's
what? Guess what I did? I polled a few of the fellas
okay.
because I need to know what I'm doing.
Cool, cool. What did they
I'm
say?
not a man, so I don't know. So I polled a few of the fellas. I was like, what would you like for Father's Day? And they gave the same answer that you gave. It don't matter. And I said, if you had a choice, what would you prefer? Do you want a sock? Do you want the socks? Do you want a mug? Do you want a tie? What do you want?
Did they
And
say left
guess
alone?
what the answer was?
To be left
Unanimously, they
alone.
all, huh?
To be left alone?
No. They said money. They're like, you give me money, I can get what I want. And then one dude, actually two of them said, they was like, give me money because they coming back tomorrow to ask for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how I mean that's how it is. It's like, yay, Father's Day, and we accept the tie, we accept the socks, we accept the underwear. Yay! No big deal.
Crazy. All right, the next Shop Talk question of the week I'm going to ask a little bit later, but I want to ask you this question. So Monique and Lee Daniels, because I got to get the hot topics that everybody's talking about right now. Monique and Lee Daniels, they end up reconciling.
Mm-hmm.
They come into an agreement after she tore them down on the internet, all her little shows that she did, said how wacky he was. They end up coming together, so they have a new show coming out. Actually, it's out already. It's called coming out on Netflix. It's called The Determined. Now, if I just want to know, I'm a female, you're a male, from a male's perspective.
It's a
How do
little
you
NutraSweet
respond
in
to
it.
that if somebody tear you down and then like publicly, are you as forgiving? Are men as forgiving as women?
Men, I think men are not as forgiving as women. I think, but that this story has a little NutraSweet in it, so I don't know how it would be taken. You know what I mean? It ain't just a story of this man and this woman. You know, there was a lot of feelings and stuff like that involved. So I don't know. But to answer your question, I think women are more forgiving than men.
You can't tear me down publicly like that and think we cool. I can't do it. I'm like, I'm gonna need you to like
But
crawl
there's
back
there,
publicly. Do it how you did it.
but there's a lot of that's a different tax bracket problems. Yeah, I'm gonna forgive you because I'm gonna get this role that's gonna get me a couple of $1 million in my thing on back on track. So, you know, it might be a little loaded, but I mean, they forgiven for a lot better reasons than we are. You know, we
Not yet.
forgiven because you called me this and that and other, and you said I was fat, and you
No,
don't want to
but
forget
she
that.
slandered them talking about what they wanted her to do. She slandered them. Wouldn't be me. But I just wanted to know from a male's perspective. So thank you very much.
Oh
Listen,
yeah, I'm here.
got a
I'm
great
here.
show today. I want to tell you a little bit about it before we actually get going on it.
Hmm.
Um, we got the viral sensations, Mauzy Moves out of Atlanta coming on. So y'all got to make sure go tell your cousins.
Right.
Call them, say, hey, it's about to go down because the clip before was bananas. That's when I was like, oh, I got to get them on.
It shocked me. You know, these are hometown heroes, hometown family. So yeah, 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 hey,
Hey, listen, hometown, people don't care. Guess why? Because we worldwide. So
yes, we
if
are.
it was just a hometown watching, they'd be like, oh, okay. But
Right.
we're
You're right.
blessed.
You're
So,
right.
so we got it all the way around. So y'all got to check out Mauzy Moves. If you don't know these fellas, listen. If you ain't heard of them, I know y'all heard of them, watching views. Hey, make sure that you guys like and subscribe, follow. And you know what's crazy? I'm glad this conversation came up a little earlier. When we work with the social media, Facebook, listen,
Hmm.
Facebook viewers, I see you guys. What happens is, remember before you used to be able to like and it automatically followed? It doesn't do that anymore.
Oh,
So you actually have to hit follow. So make sure
yeah,
you follow, monetize.
yeah,
Get
yeah.
us
Because
paid up in this mug. You know what I'm
they're
saying?
trying to differentiate.
What?
What's the big word?
You went to East. I
Yeah,
forgot.
well, I
Oh, my
tried.
fault.
Different. They're
Oh,
trying
okay.
to
The
make
East
sure,
side.
make sure that
What's
you
that?
trying
That's
to.
the East side.
This is about the algorithm. How about that?
Listen, give me some context clues. What are you trying to say? Give me the rest of the
They want
sentence.
to differentiate, different. It's for the algorithm. They want to make
What?
sure that you're not just like,
Wait,
you
somebody
know
over
what?
there, you
Let's
say my
move
voice
on,
like,
shall
wait,
we?
what?
Different,
Differentiate?
something like that.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
that Cheney. That's that Cheney grad stuff.
well, I tried. I skipped school one day and went over there and see what y'all was doing.
Just one day you tiptoed over there. You tiptoed
Hey,
there.
hey,
You
I,
tiptoed
I,
a
ki-
whole lot over there. Quit playing on the phone.
I kind of stood out when I was there, though.
You
Cheney
tiptoed
doesn't have.
a lot over there. But listen, let me tell you, you guys gotta get it. Get with Mauzy Moves. Hilarious, the heart-filled journey. That's them. Is urban comedy. Check it out. Because with this reality TV, we need some laughter and everything that's going on and the whole
Yeah,
cancel culture. I got to
right.
speak to that cancel culture. Listen, one thing, freedom of speech before they take it away, real talk. A lot of
Yep.
people feel like that they put things in place and we have these laws and it's like, okay, we got this law, it's written in stone. Let's look at Roe versus Wade. I'd have never thought after that law was in place, I would have never thought that a man can actually control my body and tell me what to do. They reversed that stuff. So listen,
Yeah.
speak while you can. With the cancel culture, this is what I want to say for my other people out there that's on social media, have platforms. The difference is this: when you start off low. Okay. So say you have one person. If they do a cancel culture at one person, does that really affect you?
No.
Exactly. So once you hit that plateau, don't be so big and have your head so big and feel like, oh God, they canceling me. What am I going to do? The same exact thing you did when you started off. So the difference to me is I'll still keep going.
Yep.
I got to be free and got to be me. Real talk.
Cream always rises to the top.
Don't it? Don't
Just a
it?
fact. Just a
And
fact.
it's crazy how I can have my belief, you have your belief, but you mad at me because I have my belief and it doesn't
All
agree
right.
with yours. You can
Yeah.
agree to disagree. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Look, so Noelle from Facebook said, hey, I knew it and went to East. She knew the word. Well, why didn't she help?
I don't know.
She ain't help you out. That's how y'all do over there? Hey, I'm gonna give you the phone number real quick. So write it down, tell a friend. If you want in on a conversation, the phone number is 619-902-2287. 619-902-2287. I'm going to introduce you to, we got two of the fellas up in here. Get it going and talk it out. We're going to give it up. Everybody know this one. Do they? Everybody know Cadillac?
Everybody know Cadillac.
Everybody know Cadillac.
He
They
he,
know
he knew
Cadillac.
in a, he made a couple layups in the back in the day. Played a little b-ball.
Did he? That's
Oh
where
yeah.
they know from, right?
Well, now, I mean that was my North Side family, so yeah.
See, that's that hometown stuff. How you 50 and you still talking about what's happening
Hey, we
when you was a star on the football field? Like, what's
we
your
had.
line? What's your pickup line now?
Hey, I played high school football. It
You play
still
high school
works.
football?
It still works.
It
Al
still works.
Bundy. Al Bundy. I scored 4 touchdowns.
Back in '84. Let's get
Hey,
this show started.
Everything that happens is motivation. Everything that happens is motivation.
All right. Let's give it up for Cadillac Mossy. Can we do that? Can we do that?
What it do? What it do? What it do?
Diamond in the back. What's happening, fam?
All
Oh
right, before we
man,
do that, let me give it up. Cadillac Mauzy and Mauzy Moves is Fairway's paternal cousin and a full-time educator with a passion for making videos about old school cars. Now, your car name is Scarlett.
Scarlett. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah. Her name's Scarlett. We used to call her Mary, but she went through a little identity crisis. So she let us know that her name is Scarlett. So we try to we respect her wishes.
Do you? Oh,
Yeah,
there we go. You respect her wishes?
yeah, we got to because if you don't, she won't start. She won't move, and if she don't move and she don't start, I don't make no money.
Okay,
Hey,
wait. She was married, now she's Scarlett.
Yeah.
Now, I
So
heard you spend more time with Scarlett than you do the ladies.
what's the problem with that?
why I say this? This is what I heard. See, Scarlett made me money. And one thing I learned is As long as you got the money, you don't got to worry about no ladies.
That's what it's all about.
Yes. Hey, don't ever put for richer for poorer in your wedding vows. It's a lie. It's always for richer.
Always for Richard.
It's always the money talk.
I'm gonna zip it on that one. Listen, I want to introduce next up Fairway Mauzy.
What's going on?
What's up, Fairway?
Wagwan.
Let me introduce these people too, like I did him. So Fairway. I'm gonna leave that other part
What's up,
alone.
man?
I'll keep it at Father's Day. Nate,
Yes.
you know where I'm going, like
Yeah.
boom.
Let's go.
Now,
Look, I got a little
like
son
you gonna be a
peeking
golf
up.
influencer?
Hey, you know what, man? I fell in love with the game, and the game loved me, and I got Fairway family out there all over the world who recognize me everywhere I go. So I became something kind of a big deal, Mel. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of a big deal out here in these streets.
I heard
Everybody know Fairway.
The hip hop videos, you doing it?
Oh yeah, you know the videos they went viral, so people be after me after them. Everybody trying to get a cameo.
All y'all, because everybody talk about Mauzy Moves. Now let me tell you, me being on radio, and I said that in the area before y'all moved, before the Mauzy's moved, okay, in the yo, and it was like, oh wait, I know that. I said, oh, and then I was talking to somebody that actually knew Cousin Carson.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, I said, that's the one that I don't know. Now, which was different, and we gonna dig a little deeper. We gonna get into that. So, Carson, you are Fairway's maternal cousin.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you are a father and a husband.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me put it out there for the ladies. Ladies, y'all get this. Take notes. Tell your cousins. So he's married. Fairway is not. Cadillac is not.
Cadillac
You
is.
Oh my God.
God.
Retract that. Listen, why my
Yeah.
fuck was crazy. You listen.
Hey,
you
I got one side chick. That's
Yeah.
Scarlett.
That's Scarlett. All
That's
right.
Scarlett.
Okay. So Cadillac is still married, ladies. Okay. Listen, I put it out there. Y'all know I'm telling it. Put it out there. And they was like, wait, Cadillac? You still got it. You still got it.
Yeah.
A little bit. You know, 52 doing good.
I ain't do the leg work on that. I should have known. I'm sorry. I apologize. Mrs. Mauzy.
It's all good. She know Cadillac.
But Fairway is not married. He's divorced.
I am.
I love the fact that y'all got these videos out there. I gotta give. You know what? And we got to give them a perfect round of applause for Mauzy Moves.
Oh yeah, man.
Thank you.
Man.
And happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Happy Father's Day.
True
Happy
that.
Father's Day weekend.
Would you say, oh yeah, happy Father's Day weekend all day?
And not to the women acting like fathers either.
Now,
Exactly. Take that. I'm with you there.
We're gonna take one day.
Give us the one, man. Leave us alone.
You know what?
I don't want to hear it.
For real.
Okay, well, I'm just going to go with my ShopTalk question of the week. I was reading this article, and it was a woman's article. And what it actually said was that men, so y'all can answer this, feels like success is being deemed as a masculine trait. So I asked you, do you think success is considered a masculine trait?
Success is mental. Success is mental. Success is what you personally feel that your accomplishments mean to you. Because what success means to me doesn't necessarily mean success for someone else. For you, success means having $1 million. For me, success may be being able to pay my bills without having any issues. For one, a rapper, success may be to play music worldwide. But for another one, It may be just to be able to get in these parlors and make enough money to continue doing what they love. So success is mental for
Yeah,
me.
Yeah, I would
agreed.
say, yeah, I agree. It's relative, I guess is the proper word for it. But I think that I see where you're going with it because it's more around, hey, the strong black woman thing, and hey, does that mean that women can't be successful without being masculine or without appearing to be masculine? I think is where you're going with this question. I I personally don't agree with that. I've been around a lot of successful women who has been able to still embrace their femininity. And you see, I didn't go to East, so I was able
Here we
to
go.
say
See,
that pretty easy.
Articulate.
That flowed right off the tongue. But at any at any rate, I think that it's just confidence, right? I think that people have confidence. People can feel just like Cadillac said. It's about what's successful to you. It's relative to you. I mean, nobody. If it's just an economic definition, then nobody would rate to Elon Musk or whoever the most successful person is because everybody else would be deemed less successful, right, or not successful. So it's a age old question. I think that
It is not age old.
it is because women.
That's a new article written.
I'm talking about. Okay,
It's
it's
been
not
asked
age old.
before.
It's been asked since
It
women
has.
have been able to enter the workforce and educate and elevate themselves. This question has been happening because you're starting to see more divorce rates, and so people got to find something where to blame. So they're blaming, oh, the women is too successful, so that's why they don't know how to be a woman. So the men ain't having it, and the divorce rates are going very high. So I
Yeah.
think that we're just looking for something to blame, but I think it's BS.
Okay. Cousin Carson, what's your
Yeah,
thoughts on that?
I agree. I think it's all about the attitude of the person and how they view what success is. I don't agree that, far as I don't believe that success is a masculine trait. Just because if you have humility and you know what I mean, and you can actually still have your feminine side and still provide and still be maternal and everything, just it's just to me that's not a masculine trait. It's like I said, it's based on what like the other two said, based on how you feel about it. But
Yeah.
I think it's definitely it's something new that people talking about. But I mean, I really think it just goes back to connecting to what to what God has for you here.
All right,
And
what you got, Nate the Agitator?
no, I agree. We all come up in the same thing. I believe that, but I mean, well,
You believe it's a masculine trait?
no, I don't believe it's a masculine trait. I believe that the feminine trait isn't being taught at all anymore. I don't know where
Okay.
you see femininity at and things like that. But yeah, I believe that she can have it all. But I mean, it's not being taught or shown or anything like that. So it's very hard for the younger women. All us in our age, we grew up in the same neighborhood. And we had mothers and grandmothers who taught daughters, and y'all they taught y'all. So we we are pretty much the last of the Mohicans with the feminine women. So I agree with that with the Maz. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I know just one more thing, man. I think that um, a lot of women are adding to that flavor as well. I mean, with this whole, and I just heard you talking about it, Nate the Agitator. This whole, if a man ain't doing this X, Y, and Z, then they become sassy, and that's the new term out here now. So the women is exasperated, but then they're trying to play victim on, oh, I'm just strong. But if a dude does give them space to lead and all of that, they become sassy. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this. We don't want to be strong. We don't. No, for real. We do not want to be strong. Ladies, go and chime in. We don't want to be strong. It's as if we have to be strong.
Mhm.
And that's a
So
bad
so that's
thing.
actually I think that's a misconception. That's
I
also another
think
thing that
so.
women do a
Well, let me
lot.
finish. I'm gonna let you go, but let me finish. And my thoughts are it depends on the guy. And because of our past baggage, let's be real, or what we have been
There we go.
exposed to, we're like, okay, well, I got to be this way because I know he's going to fall short
There we
instead of
go.
actually having his back. Now, go ahead.
Ah,
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You're operating out of past trauma.
Mhm.
And that's what a lot do. And so often as you operate in a space that you got to protect yourself, which never allows you to open up to the person you're with, which there goes the crack in the communication or from the jump, because you're still operating on like, well, what if he leave me? Or what if he do this? Or what if he treat me like the last one? Instead of
We're
judging every
operating on
relationship.
our heart's wounds.
So
but
that's why they tell people, and not just women, that's why you have to heal and take care of the things that you're personally dealing with before you get with someone else. Because it doesn't stop. It just continues or gets, even larger when you're with someone else because you never took care of it personally.
yeah,
Okay, let's bring little brother Cadillac in. He is
Little
a
brother
tech
Cadillac.
expert. Your little brother, he about to come in.
Oh,
Yeah.
another little,
Look, you see, you shocked. See, that's when we get ready to go to that. When you shocked, you like, what little brother? I'm about
which
to bring
one?
somebody
Which
else
one?
behind
Which
me.
Right, right,
one?
right. Hey, which one? How
Come
y'all
on out
doing?
behind the curtain. We got brothers. Let me introduce you guys, introduce him properly. This is Mauzy, Cadillac's younger brother, a tech expert who balances his passion for competitive martial arts with his responsibilities to find balance that resonates with viewers as he navigates and demands the work of family life. Work and family life.
Yes,
What
sir.
up, Knox? You did some stuff for me.
I did. I made some logos for you. Yeah.
We
I'm
got it,
that
we got
guy.
it, we got it.
Yeah, I'm
What's
that
happening?
guy. I'm good. Just hanging out with the family today. We
It's
got
about
a
to be, it is, it's about to be the Brady Bunch. I'm
yeah,
about to
no,
remove myself and throw y'all all on. Y'all just gonna hear my voice. Like,
right.
what's
It's a lot
happening?
going on. Yep.
We got a lot going on now.
Listen,
Even
the
more.
reason you guys are fathers
Mm-hmm.
hmm
had you on. I want to ask the fathers this question. I asked that question prior to regarding like
Okay.
relationships and the masculinity and all that other stuff. I jumped onto that to see what your thought process was. Now,
Okay.
I do want to ask this on that, so let me back up a little bit. If the woman is the breadwinner,
Mm-hmm.
she makes more money than you, are you
Mm-hmm.
okay with staying at home with your children?
yep,
Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
wish.
absolutely.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
got I got a story about that. So me and my wife married for 10 years. We've been together probably like 15, I think.
Okay.
And when we first started dating, I had money. I was taking her out to fancy restaurants, taking her on vacations, flying her here, flying her there, and
Hmm.
then all of that stopped almost abruptly. And
Okay, go ahead.
and
Almost
so
abrupt. What you mean almost abrupt?
like I went from having money to having no money in less than a week. Like I got to figure it out. And so my wife ended up holding me down for a long time, probably
Okay.
like almost a whole year. Like I wasn't making no money. I was staying at her house, driving her car. You know what I mean? But when I was home, I was cooking, I was cleaning up, I was making sure her daughter was straight. You know what I'm saying? Making sure I picked up groceries. Like I became the house mom. But again, it
The
was
house
only
dad.
yeah, it was only a small transition because she knew she knew I had potential to get my life together and get back on track. And she gave me that time to do that. And she was the breadwinner. Like I said, I didn't let my pride get a hold of me and just be like, oh, no, I became the house dad. Like she come home from work, the dinner made, you know what I'm saying? The house clean, you know what I mean? I ain't just in there playing video games. Again, I was, but I was playing video games after I took care of my
Mhm.
house. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
glad you cleared that up, Knox. I'm glad
Right.
you said that. Thank
I
you, sir.
definitely was playing
So,
video games and sitting on
so,
the
Well,
couch, but I was
so
also
Mel.
for jobs
Go ahead.
and coming up.
So Mel, just with the whole Mauzy Moves things, we're trying to show a lot of aspects of that, and actually that question relates directly with cousin Carson because that's the character
You in the
that
same situation.
we're playing. His character is playing that right now
At home dad.
as a stay-at-home dad. So that's perfect, right? And we showing all aspects of men. That's kind of the premise of this show is to show different types of men, and we all different, and we all in the same family, right? So it's just a microcosm of what we got going on.
Fairway.
What
Ask
up?
me how I knew that.
How did you know that?
Question that question.
You just put it on the T for us. Is that what you're saying?
You part of the family too.
Here's a testament.
The difference, it seems like to me, outside looking in, and 619-902-2287. Go ahead and call in. I'm sorry I missed you. Call back.
Tell a friend and tell a friend.
You were with her prior. So there's a difference when you with somebody prior versus dating the potential.
Right. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
That's where it's coming from. Go ahead, Cadillac. What you got to say?
No, I think Nate
You look
had
like you had
something
something
to
to
say
say
too.
when Knox was talking.
No,
Nothing.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
That was on the last thing when you were talking about they're all related. I mean, it takes iron to shop iron. We had a village raising us. There was men. We were raised. There was men in our lives. So I mean, that's what we all get it from. That's why we all look like. We got whoopings from everybody. I didn't got a whooping. I don't know about Knox people, but yeah, everybody else. I got whoopings by all they people. So I mean,
okay.
And that's how it was. Let me go to the comments. Okay, Rhonda of Facebook said, my first husband was disabled, so I was the breadwinner. He stayed at home and took care of the home, and I went to work. Okay, when it was payday, it was what we got paid, not what I got paid. Bless your heart. Bless your
Okay. He's sweet.
That is so nice. But you know what? The key word, Rhonda, husband. Okay. Men and women both need to understand that when you're married, you're one flesh. It's no longer what is mine is yours and what's yours is mine. Okay. I get that. Husband. But what's your thoughts on do any of you guys have daughters?
Yeah.
I got two.
You got two. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if y'all ain't married, what y'all doing anyway? What you got to be in their household paying bills anyway for?
That's what I'm trying to understand. And it's sad because, like, kind of like you sound like our parents, like now at this age. It's like, wait a minute, y'all shouldn't be living up anyway.
I mean, my wife moved me in while we was dating. Her family hated it. They was like, "Why is this nigga staying with you?" You know what I mean? Her grandmama was like, "He a rapper? Oh hell no!" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I got her family was not with it. They was like, are out of control. But
I had my daughter.
She knew me,
wait 1 second, Nate. Go ahead.
I'm just saying she knew, like I said, she knew who the type of dude I was. She had met my brothers and my family too. So I think in her mind it's like, I see the potential. I'm around with this. You know what I mean? And I'm not no nigga that's gonna take advantage of it. So
okay, let me say this, because y'all know how I feel about potential. See, you, on the other hand, when you look at the background and you be like, okay, so if we fall, at least I know he got boom, boom, boom. That's gonna help pick us up. So that's an investment.
Now, that's a flex.
She knew what she had.
Yeah. So when you have people, like we'll hear like the sisters talking about something, oh yeah, the dudes, they get all that money or what is it, draft day. They got all the white chicks next door. And it's like, why ain't he with a sister? Because
the white chick was doing my paper.
Why?
Because the white chick was helping him with my term papers and everything else.
Made sure I graduated.
Yeah. She made sure. Yes. You sitting out there waiting at the finish line to pick the winner. And how's that working?
The white girl bought the drinks.
For me. It definitely has. Okay, go ahead. What was you gonna say, Cadillac?
I said the white girl bought the drinks. Y'all want the drinks bought for y'all.
The white girl definitely bought the drinks.
White girl buying the drinks.
Hey, y'all gonna get us in trouble. Y'all gonna get us in trouble.
Hey, well, watch Mauzy Moves then. Watch Mauzy Moves. MAUZY. Comment. Like,
Yeah.
subscribe,
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. And follow.
and follow.
We need those followers. That's what we need right
All
now.
right. We're gonna bring in K Mauzy. Am
Okay.
I pronouncing it right?
Yeah,
Yes,
K.
yes,
Yeah.
K Mauzy.
K Mauzy. All right, and that is
Fairway
Fairway
son.
son. Yeah.
yes, Fairway
What up?
Son
What up,
and
cousin?
the barber. Like,
Yeah.
The
okay,
barber.
I was watching this skit. You just got like a new gig, right?
I got a lot of gigs, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of them.
Okay, all
He
right.
also
Well,
works for the
let me get it
mattress
right.
place.
Okay, let me get it for the listening audience. K
He
Mauzy
picking
is
cotton.
Fairway's son, a barber who is unsure of his long-term career goals. K's journey is to find his true calling and his true calling is both relatable and humorous as he takes on side jobs and grapples with his father's expectations. That's big because your father's a CPA, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Those are big shoes to fill. Like, how do you feel in that position?
see, I feel that those are the shoes that you think that I'm supposed to fill, but it's his golf shoes that he really want me to fill.
So you got
Okay.
Fairway. He bigger than a CPA.
Oh.
He pretty much
Oh.
was like, boom. Okay.
Yeah, I got a few pair in my closet myself, but yeah, that's where season one is gonna take you.
Now, for those who are just tuning in, these are the men, and I still got another one coming up, of Mauzy Moves. Now, what Mauzy Moves is, what's interesting is this. Different people were looking, they were like, wait, these are skits. The problem is this is your real life in a skit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we basically.
I like that. So it's
Yeah,
like,
we
okay,
basically did like.
I'm tired of reality TV, honestly.
Yeah.
And everywhere you look, when they first said that reality TV was coming on, I was like, how's that gonna work? Because we're used to, programming, television
Sitcoms.
programming, where y'all took a spin and brought back, it went from reality back to
So the
television programming.
hashtag is reality is a show. So
okay.
yeah, that's our
There you
hashtag.
go.
So if
Okay,
y'all
so-
look that up, y'all find most of our videos.
Reality is a
we'll
show.
patent
Now-
that. Fairway made it up, but we definitely it's our hashtag right now. So
Because
Yeah,
that's
guess
how we figure
Look at God. Look,
we figure our life
I
our
got
life is
that.
so
Let me say this
crazy.
quick. That's what I got from
Yeah.
watching. So
Right.
that is very good. So it's conveyed to the community and to the public. Now these videos that went viral, which is really interesting to me. Y'all check them out. The one that got me was the reality of it. The reality
Right.
of the one that got me was the Father's Day. Now, I'm going to say this, Cousin Carson. While I was watching the first one, now, interesting enough, when that first one came out, not the first one, but the one that I watched that I'm getting ready
The
to
reveal.
the Ancestry.
Mhm.
The reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the reveal.
Yeah.
Now, with Ancestry.com. On the show, before I watched it, we talked about it, didn't we? Because Nate and I are cousins.
Mhm.
We found out because of our grandmothers are sisters.
Sisters.
Wow.
And we found it out through and
Ancestry.
I seen her as a kid. She was
Right.
always coming over my
You
grandmother's
never
house.
know the people, but
Yeah, I'm like, okay, but we never put it together until
Yeah.
that
after it
ancestry
go.
about to mess up some families.
It is. Oh, it is.
It's something serious.
It
It is.
definitely is.
So
It's definitely
serious.
gonna change the dynamics all over
It's,
the
it's
place.
shaking up some stuff.
Now here's
That's
the
why.
thing. When I watched the reveal, that reveal to me, I saw Carson's side profile. In my head, listen, in my head watching that, I'm like, boom, I know I know Fairway, I know Knox, I know Cadillac, like boom, boom, boom. I didn't know UK, but you had me dying laughing. Listen,
He
it's
our
like,
comic relief for sure.
listen, he totally is because it be major stuff going on. He was like, that ain't my business. Blah, blah, blah. So I love that. I absolutely love that. Now,
Yeah.
when
That's him for real.
Yeah, true.
Carson was his side profile was there, I was like, dang, I'm looking on my phone. I was like, dang, them Mozzies got some strong genes. That's all I said. Now, who I saw was Knox. Because see, now Cadillac got all this.
Mhm.
And so my mother's, she a fan. She watches, right? So my mother's sitting there. She's like, the reveal? What's that? What they doing now? So got it going. And my mother says, woo, Cousin Carson looked like Cadillac. And I said, they got some strong genes. Didn't know how the connection was yet. So, and I'm looking at Fairway talking about his stuff and his son Kay having a barber gig and all that other stuff. So that was a good thing. That was before the actual boom. The ancestry. Cousin Carson. What made you do the ancestry?
You know what? I honestly, my wife and I was just sitting down talking one day, and we was like, well, we want to know what part of Africa we from, and we want to know like the different percentages of, like our ancestry, our lineage. We had no clue what we was getting ourselves into at all. And so when it came down to it, and she got her results before me, and a lot of people always said, oh man, you look like a Mauzy. I've been hearing that all my life because I've been around them, and they was like, oh, you look like a Mauzy, you look like a Mauzy. And I was like, I'm gonna prove to y'all I'm not a Mauzy. And did the ancestry, and she got her results, and she was like, see, we ain't related, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Because people, because she's not. I mean,
yeah,
she's those that don't know,
his wife is actually my first cousin on my mother's side. So yeah, a lot
of my small pond. Y'all need to go fish someplace else.
Yeah, my mama family was like, y'all need to get a test, boy, because y'all might all be related. So
hey, the kid's okay, right? The kids all right, Carlson?
Yeah. They're not related.
They're not related.
Okay, let me set this up. So Knox's mother and Knox's mother and Carson's wife's mother are sisters.
Correct.
Yeah. And then Carson's mother and Fairway's mother are sisters.
And then
listen,
what? Nobody else?
Listen. Hey, this is Youngstown, not West Virginia.
Right,
y'all fight. It's feeling kind of Kentucky. It's feeling a little Kentucky now.
Okay, who I just brought in was Mauzy's music.
The celebrity.
And Mauzy's music, I got to put that in there. Mauzy Music is Cadillac's son, an aspiring rapper who works full-time in schools. So, let me put him on here. Where is he at here?
You muted, by the way.
Unmute, brother.
There you go.
Mauzy Music. How you doing?
I'm doing lovely. I'm doing
Look
lovely.
at handsome.
I appreciate that.
Hey, handsome.
He is a little handsome.
So okay, so Mauzy Music.
I get it from my mama.
Okay, I heard that. So help me to understand this. So if like the new rappers, y'all wear white beaters all the time?
Nah, this just only for the sexy rappers.
Oh, okay, the sexy rappers.
All of them can't wear the white beaters all the time. You know.
Okay, what I mean? They wear the black. The fathers wear the black beaters though.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, sometimes you get. Hey,
I don't know about that. I don't know nothing about that.
You gotta show. You know what I'm saying? You gotta show what God gave you.
Right.
Hey, one thing you'll know about the Mauzy's, the eyes been on us from the time we was born, starting with our daddy.
Clearly.
Somebody should have had a better eyes on
another
that.
handsome Mauzy right here.
Okay.
Look at them. Hey, the Mauzy
look. Set this up. So the reveal was actually
all right, get out of
here. The Ancestry.com, and Cousin Carson, you found out that you were the brother, no longer the cousin.
Yeah, no, he jumped the line. He jumped the line when I looked at my ancestry. Brian was Twan, Cadillac, then Brian, and then other people, and then he was
in the wrong lane. You're like, wait a minute, shouldn't he be over here?
All the way in front of Fairway on my list. I was like,
they passed Fairway up.
He had more DNA than me and Knox.
Right. Pretty much. Yeah.
A lot of cross pollination going on right there.
No, I mean,
even
what's
think
really
they was
amazing
related,
though is like me and Cadillac used to live together back in the '90s, and people would be like, "Y'all look alike," and we'd be like, "We ain't even related."
Right.
You know, we used to really be like, "We're not even related," like all our lives.
And everybody be
because
like,
for
y'all
47
look.
years, you know, my mom was married. You know what I mean? So for 47 years, I'm like, you know, I thought I had this dad, and he wasn't
Danny was
involved.
married too. Danny.
He definitely
Oh,
was.
Danny boy.
No, I mean,
Okay,
He
all
definitely
right. Now,
was.
so that there's no confusion for the listening audience who's unaware, you have where
All right. I'll be
Carson,
happy.
who did the ancestry, cousin Carson, did the ancestry and found out that he was brothers to who he called his cousins in Mauzy Moves.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wait a
cousin
minute.
Carson's mother was married, and his father, who he just found out, was also married. Now, finding this out at the ripe age of, how old are you, cousin Carson?
47.
47. What went through your mind?
Well, I'll say this, because I want to, you know, I want to make sure that they always know that, like, it was never like, nah, you ain't my brother. You know, it's like as soon as I got my results, I called Cadillac. And Cadillac was like, well, you was already my brother. So it was never like a situation. But like the first thing that went through my mind was like, I wish somebody would have told me this sooner, because who I thought was my father actually died back in the 90s. He was 46 years old. So then, but our father, our biological father, just died in 2020. So I could have had a relationship with him, and that's what I longed for, is a relationship with a male, because I was like, you know, I had a sister, I had a mother, I had aunts, I had my grandmother, but I was really, longing for a relationship with a male, and then come to find out, I got 3 brothers now, and you know what I mean, and I could have had this a long time ago, and like, I don't know if they told you, but Danny Mauzy was the coldest cat in Youngstown.
We know
Danny,
that.
how did you tell me?
Everybody know.
Yeah, we know.
And like, you know what I mean? I was always around the Mauzy, so I went to all the family reunions. And like I said, he always had the coldest cars, and and everything. And I was like, I always looked up to him. And then, like I said, I never got to experience him as my father, because
Wow.
you know what I'm saying, he died before I found out. But I'm like, that was my biggest thing. Is like, I wish I would have known sooner, because that's all I want. And that's what I'm doing with my boys right now. I got 2 little boys, 4 and 5, and I'm like, y'all gonna know who I am.
Absolutely. I have a question for K Mauzy. Sitting back, since that's your part anyway. What's your thoughts?
So my part in this is kind of crazy, because it's really like, he was already my cousin, but like now he's my cousin on both sides. Like my grandfather was his father's brother. My grandmother was his mother's sister. So you feel me? It's like, I mean, nothing really changed. Like, I mean, we didn't live together too at some point in our life. So it's like nothing really changed as far as that, but it's just, you don't hear stuff like that every day. So like, just sitting back, like you said, it's really like, all I can really do is think about the catering order, for the party. Like,
that just went up and one more person.
Right.
Go ahead, Nate.
I have a question. Do you think your dad knew? Did he know?
Man,
Yep.
I think a lot of people knew. I think my
on.
mama knew. I think my daddy knew. I think his sister knew. I think his
Hold on. While we
knew.
hear anybody out there who listening, who knew? We want to know who knew.
Somebody need to chime in, because I think a lot of people knew.
Mel knew. Mel sound like she knew a little bit. Why you ain't tell nobody?
I didn't know.
Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you knew.
If you from Youngstown, if you lived in Youngstown in the 70s, 80s.
Everybody knew except for y'all.
I think it was one of those things.
Well, didn't nobody tell us.
They said that generation was really good at taking stuff to the grave.
Was staying in the house back then.
That generation was like, listen,
it was before social media.
We not about to ruin all these families. Y'all keep that to yourself.
Hey, it was before social media.
I gotta say this. Yeah, there was no social media. From a woman's perspective, I look at the big picture, and kind of like what Knox was saying. Are you gonna ruin? What is it? 5 people's lives over here. 4 people's lives over here. Then what's gonna happen to? Let's go with Fairway Mozzy's family immediate. Like, is it going to be something there? So, do you ruin all their lives, or do you just?
Hey, the truth will set you free, man. They should have told the truth, right?
Yeah. I gotta. Do you do that? I don't know. I'll be looking at the big picture, but I ain't gonna lie. I'll be
the truth will set you free.
Look,
Man,
I'll be at home like, oh, he's looking a little.
But see, as parents, it's nothing like having a child and the experience and the fun and the joy that I had from raising my son.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine how you could not or even have a child somewhere and not be involved in their life. So, listen, we love Danny. We don't, there's no ill will. We happy we have a new brother, but I wish I would have known about it a long time ago.
See, I'm from the opposite camp. I actually don't think that he knew. I don't really think he knew. I don't think because
Fairway. I'm with you. I'm like Fairway because I think he would have
just because. You got to think about this, man. This wasn't no DNA days. These ain't the days of you know what I'm saying?
Man looked like Danny Mauzy, bro.
And yeah, but if you're coming up on the creek, why would you? Now, if you knocked off somebody who was married and they had kids, you think that you was the only one in there at that time?
You ain't gonna say nothing. You ain't gonna say nothing.
This is why I disagree. And this is why I disagree, because several people from my mother's side of the family looked at Carson one time and was like, they lied to you.
but I can
they lied to you. And this was before we knew. My cousin called me and was like, yo, Tisha, her husband looked like y'all, man. Like, y'all sure that ain't y'all brother?
Nah, but look, that I get that, but they never had a relationship. They never dated. They didn't date afterwards. So there was no inclination
for us to really
anybody. Monday morning quarterbacking is real easy to do. You know what I'm saying?
They might not have talked about it, but they knew. I don't think they might not have had a conversation about it.
Because they both was married, so they both would have been doing their thing, right? So why would they think that if there is a baby that is theirs?
Because when Danny saw David,
hold on. I got a caller, guys.
She did name him David.
You're allowed.
We got to throw that in there.
You're allowed with ShopTalk. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, you guys. This is Cece calling from Columbus, Ohio. And I just wanted to say I applaud you guys for coming on the show and doing this show and being so open and so real about your situation. It's just so interesting. It literally sounds like a documentary. I love it.
Yeah,
it is.
That was the goal.
I'd like to hear from the youngest of the group how he feels about all of this, and where he feels as though he fits in with each one of you.
That'd be Mauzy Moves, or
that would be K.
Talking about.
Oh yeah, K is the youngest.
The youngest brother or the youngest Mauzy?
The youngest Mauzy.
Yeah,
that's K.
How do I feel about it? I mean, I've had a relationship with everybody. Like, my relationship with everybody didn't really change, but just hearing the news, it kind of make you think about like the conversation we having now. Like, who knew? Like, what could have been, the relationships that could have been. But I am a firm believer that everything happened for a reason. I think that we all connected at this time for a reason. So I look at it like that. I think we got a lot ahead of us, and the journey is really just beginning.
Absolutely. Now, I want to speak to Mauzy Music.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandfather. What's your thoughts?
Oh, Danny boy.
We used to say this, sing the song, "Oh, Danny boy," before all this even happened, because Danny Mauzy was a trip. Like, it was a trip, real cool, you know, but you know, that thing in his pants, he used it, you know, to the fullest potential. You know what I mean? And we like
created some handsome young men. I will say
you
that.
know, you can see that. So I'm not as affected because it's not like
Right.
he ain't my daddy. I'm really kind of like, hey, I'm sitting back looking like, ooh, this kind of juicy.
That's right.
It's a
So
little
they about
juicy.
that's that same concept, which is so funny. Now, Fairway, I want to talk about how your thoughts are like mine. When I was like, how does it come out? Maybe I don't believe he knew. I would say probably thought about it and figured like, oh, could be, but I ain't saying if you don't scream, I won't holler.
Right.
Exactly. Ain't nobody trying to add another bill if they don't have to back in the day, you know what I'm
For
saying?
sure. For sure.
So if it, and he looking at it like it's her responsibility to tell me if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? That would be my approach if I was.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let
and
me
I don't
add
think
this,
she knew, but I don't believe she knew. I don't believe she knew.
Well, let me add that I don't not look like who I thought my father was, or my my mother's husband.
Oh, you look like him too?
I don't not look like him. He had like a receding hairline. He had the same stuff, the same kind of traits that the Mauzy's had. He had a lot of those same traits, and he's from the monkey nest where the Mauzy's is from. You know what I mean? Like there's from the north side, all that type of stuff. So I don't think it was like as blatant as people probably think it was. Because even though I look like Danny, I look like Knox and Cadillac and Jump. I don't think it was as blatant just because he had a lot of those same features as well. And so I think, I pop out, it's me and my sister, I'm the youngest, they got divorced and I was raised by my grandparents anyway. So, you know what I mean? Like, although my mom was around, she didn't technically raise me either. My dad didn't, nor my mother. But the Mauzy's, like I said, they came in clutch because my side of the family would have been really small, and so when I went over and, like I said, went to the family reunions and went to all the other stuff as a youth, they just took me in like I was one of them, not even knowing that I was one of them.
Okay, I have a listener that texted in and said, Shell says they were really already centered in the same circle. It was a blessing you were still around your own brothers.
True.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I took from it. Like, at least it wasn't like you just didn't know these people your whole life. Like you had some kind of effect on growing up with everybody, but it wasn't a complete blind side. But like, this is definitely a story that you don't hear every day
at all.
Now, Fairway was always my brother because, like, he was raised by his grandparents as well, so we grew up in the same household. But I always looked at Cadillac like our father, like, man, this dude was cool. You know what I mean? He was tall, you know what I'm saying? He could ball. And so I looked at Cadillac like, man, that's a cool cat. I'm glad I know him. Before I even knew he was my brother, I wanted to, hang out with him. You know what I mean?
I think he had that vibe all the way across the board. Look, I'm like all the way across the board. I think that he had that vibe. And that's a great thing. That's a great thing.
But it's crazy. But I watched him, and so I'm a little closer to it even than Knox and Jumps. Jumps not. We didn't mention Jump, our other brother. He's not on here, but because right now he's still dealing with some conspiracy theories. He's not sure if he want to have his face on camera. And, he got a show called Hold This L, and it's real controversial.
Love that show.
So he's still contemplating on, do he want to be on camera, because he been getting a lot of calls and emails, stalkers since then. So, but to say all that, to say, I knew cousin Carson as Fairway's little cousin. He was really like Fairway's little brother. So I was always around him. Like, say, people all our life used to say, hey, y'all look alike. Y'all look like family. I'm like, yeah, we are family. We ain't really family, and then they like, but y'all, they always would say, but y'all two look like brothers. And we used to laugh and think, okay, the joke is on y'all, because we really not even kin. You know,
I'm telling you, when I saw it, that style profile, that was crazy. And I was like, boy, they got some strong jeans. Never did I ever think that the reveal was gonna be the reveal as I was watching it.
Listen,
I thought the reveal was Kay getting a job.
Right.
That's what I thought the reveal was.
Fairway quitting accounting.
Man, that was even bigger. Fairway quitting his job to be a golf influencer.
You gonna leave all that money?
Hey.
And then cousin Carson got to steal the show.
Stole it. Now let's move. Let me put this information out there. This is Mauzy Moves. Listen, they do skits, but the skits is wrapped around real life situations that are actually happening, which is amazing. Who we have on the stage right now? We have Cadillac, we got Cousin Carson, we have Knox, we got Music Mauzy, and we also have K Mauzy. So Mauzy's, check them out. Now the other one,
MAUZY.
MAUZY, yes. What is it? Take an L. What is it?
Hold this L.
Hold this L.
Jump.
Man, listen, that's his other brother. I got to give it YouTube. That's their other brother.
Yeah.
You got to check that out because that BBL situation.
True stories, man.
True stories.
Hashtag reality is a show, man.
Hashtag reality is a show. I wish I could put it up there.
Listen, that's what made us really. It was Fairway's idea,
right?
But you know, we really was looking at this like, listen, our life is a reality show.
Yeah.
Like our. So we said, you know what? You know, we're not ashamed of it. It's life. We're like, you know what? Let's put it out there, and let's have some fun with it. You know. And so that's what we said, Mauzy Move. You know, we came up, we said we're going to show you how Mauzy's moved because all of us different, but we have so much stuff going on. Each and every one of us has a lane that's a story that could be told about.
Right. Y'all got a lot of entertainment. And listen, Kay.
I want people to know that this is only season 1. We about to shoot season 2 next week. This is really only the intro of what's really going on. Like,
okay, but guess what? But it went viral though. No, this is the one. Let's go to the second part. So that's part 1 to reveal. The second part. Let's get into that. And you ordering the wings, man. I'm telling you, y'all got to check this out. Mauzy Moves. Kay, baby.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that was my idea, and they tried to shoot it down first.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold up, wait. I said, I had to explain it to her. I said, no, listen to how funny this is going to be. But Kay came up with the wings. We was just saying he need to go
do something different.
You know what I mean?
Well, let me say this. With watching these skits, reality that's happening that y'all doing, that y'all reenact, like, oh man, we got to put this out here.
Right.
You can relate. You know who is who. So the reason I vibe with Kay is because that's me.
Right.
Like I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with this.
My name Benny.
Are you sitting down? This is gonna be a real big order.
Right, man. Listen, I hollered. I was like, that's the cat that was like, wait, it's only 250%.
That was like I definitely give props to Knox for the idea.
Because I had to listen. They shot it down at first. I said, wait. I was like, no, wait, no. I said, no, listen to me. Y'all got to listen to it.
As soon as he said it, I knew what I was going to do, but I didn't tell them that I was going to do
it.
No,
he ain't tell us because we just was like, do something different.
Okay, I need you to speak louder.
Okay.
Like, come up, so that they can hear you because I keep getting that. Okay. They're like, we can't hardly hear them.
Okay,
go ahead.
No, yeah, I was saying shout out to Knox for the idea for the comic relief at the end. I didn't tell, like, as soon as he said it, I knew exactly what I was going to do, but I didn't tell none of them. I wanted it to be authentic.
Right.
Well, and it was authentic because that day we did order food like that.
No, seriously. We had like a whole dinner.
But y'all have to listen to Kay as they watch the skits.
Oh yeah,
Kay is going to have some funny stuff, and it just comes out of nowhere. You be like, Even at the reveal, he was saying stuff like,
sometimes he's not on camera and you can hear him.
Yeah.
Y'all hear him? Okay.
So it's a couple
and it's
of them
quiet though. You got to catch it.
Yeah.
Now I want to know this. This is the reveal part 2. You guys can go to my page, Shop Talk with Mel, and you can see part 1 and part 2. And we're gonna cut it up. I'm gonna have my people cut it up so they can get it. And then you guys also can view this video if you are in the listening audience. You can view this video wherever you get your podcast and also on all social platforms. Mauzy Moves, check them out. Make sure you follow. That's how they get paid.
Facebook and YouTube. Most importantly.
We don't care about Instagram.
And make sure you check them out. Like, make sure y'all hit follow. You gotta hit follow because they tripping now.
Subscribe.
I guess they paying people too much money, and they like, okay, wait, how we gonna do it now? We gonna spin it. So Facebook is doing their trip thing, and I'm just gonna say this to get you guys out there for other people that's listening that may have different channels on Facebook. Get yourself another channel as well, another outlet, because if it start tripping, then we able to move and shake and move. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to limit yourself. We see it's definitely a family unit going on. Fairway.
What's up?
Now we're gonna go to part 2. This is where I need you. It was your father's brother and your mother's sister.
Correct.
That had the lovely.
Yeah.
Cousin Carson. What's your thoughts when you found out?
It was a big shocker for me. I think we played it out in the skits. One of my thoughts was, hold on, this dude's been my little brother the whole time, and then Cadillac gonna try and steal my little brother. You know what I'm saying? I raised him. But on a serious note, it was really a shocker because their dad is a few years younger than Kay Carson's mom, and there was another brother, and I asked my mom about it. My mom and his mom are really tight. People think they're twins, and she said she didn't know about it. That's another reason that I don't think that,
that's the kind of tight-lipped stuff you need.
That's real loyalty.
So it was a shocker, you know, but it was all good. I was happy for him because I always viewed him as a Mauzy anyway.
Okay,
but I'm
now
in and out. So 1 second.
That's okay. I got you. I believe in families. Now here we go. When you made the call, y'all did the skit to make the call to say, hey, who knew? Knox, your mother was married to him. When you made the call, how was
that? Obviously, the show is a reenactment, but I definitely
that's what I just said. Yeah.
So I definitely immediately was like, "Oh shit, I gotta call my mom." Right. So I called mom. I'm like, I hope you sitting down. Like, what's wrong? I said, when did you and Dad get married? So she told me the year, and I think Carson was born 2 years after my mom and dad got married. So I'm like, so she told me that. Oh God. I'm like, well, I don't know if you know this or not, but Daddy had a side baby on you. And she like, huh? And she was like, who you talking about, Carson? Because again, this was my mother's side of the family had already knew, like, this dude looked like a Mauzy. And she was like, oh, I left your dad a year into our marriage and moved to Atlanta. And she was like, and I was done with him for a year before we got back together. So again, that's her story. I'll let her stick with that. But I still don't buy it. I don't buy his book. I don't buy that. I feel like they had a conversation that was like, look, this what happened. We ain't saying nothing about it because she ain't saying nothing about it. And we just gonna leave it at that. And it was like, all
right. Okay. Cadillac.
Yeah.
Tell me your side. Who did you call?
He had to call his mama.
So I called my mother. Now, my mother, I'm the oldest. My mother and my father never got married. And so really, it wasn't like nothing like that. And again, he's still younger than me. So it wasn't like, right. So my thing was just me and my mother real close. So it was just more like, ooh, I got some juice to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And so when I called her, I really was like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna tell her over the phone. So as I started telling her though, she was like, oh, I'm like, you know, I can't remember what part I got to. She was like, but hold up. I'm on my way over your house. I need I need to hear this in person. I need to hear this in person. I'm on my way. So we just chopped it up, laughed about it, you know what I'm saying? Talk. But yeah, I called my mother and like I said, I tried to tell her over the phone. She's like, no. I need to hear that. Before you to say anything else, I'll be on my way.
Can I add real quick?
Mauzy.
You say what?
I said the music, and this is the music.
Mauzy music.
I see you shaking your head. Which is just like
that's how my grandmama is. She need that. She really wanted them. Like, are you sitting down? Because she need to be sitting down, settled, have her notebook out with her pencil, so she could, you know, because it's really like a whole. And she knows everybody. You know how small Youngstown is.
Small pond.
You got to draw a family tree with a little web just to connect.
You need a graph.
Dot to the right area. So yeah, he ain't lying.
Okay. Now, that's so funny. That's your grandpa. And what I see, he popping out boys.
I'm gonna stick beside him.
Let me tell you, this is what makes it amazing, though. Mauzy Moves, all boys.
Yes.
This is crazy. Like, this is what sets it aside from the others. It's like, wait a minute. What sets us aside? This is what sets us aside. This whole family dynamic. It's amazing that it's all boys who have a great sense of humor and can laugh about it and be like, oh man. At the top of the show, I was talking. I actually asked Nate. I don't know if you guys were able to listen, Nate the Agitator, about that whole Monique Lee Daniels thing, as far as like forgiving people, and do men forgive, you know, faster than women do, because we hold our grudges or whatever. I love the fact that it's all embracing and nobody is like, well, wait a minute, even though he was in the family, not, you know, Cousin Carson was in the family already, but if you didn't know him, I believe that you would still have that same embracing, you know.
Like, so I wanted to add that like Cadillac's mom immediately was like, well, you my son now too. And Jump and Knox's mom already knew because she's my wife's aunt. Matter of fact, she was one of the ones that introduced me to my wife. But she was already, I mean, she came up with the joke. She was like, now I can call your grandkids, I mean, your kids, my grandkids, like my sister can. You know what I mean? Because she would have been like my stepmom, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, my wife's, like I said, she's my wife's aunt. So she was like, you know, me and my sister both can claim your kids as grandkids. But everybody was like, you know, nobody was like, nah, this ain't real. No, we don't accept it. Everybody was just like, it is what it is. And we gonna, you know, just keep it moving. And we, you know, we got love for everybody. And I mean, that's what I like about it, because like I said, again, I came from like what I call a small family. And, you know, so having this larger family just accept me like, well, you've been around, so you know, it ain't nothing new. I was like, you know, this is a blessing, you know, to me, that I was just accepted so easily.
Okay. Now I'm about to ask you something. I'm about to get deep, because this is a question that I have. That's why, if you notice, I need us to focus there. Your last name, Cousin Carson. Now you are a Mauzy, and you are married. So she is Mrs. Carson, correct?
Correct.
And you have children who are little Carsons, correct?
Correct.
Did the name change ever come up?
Oh yeah. We talked about possibly hyphenating it. Well, here, make things so to make things even worse. So Danny, everybody know Danny is Mauzy. His real name is David. And Jump Mauzy, his real name is David, and but he's younger than me. So he's younger than me. So technically, I would be the junior, not him, because my name is David.
But you have a different middle name. That's what be.
But I'm just saying that, like, so we talked about hyphenating the last name. You know, me and my wife are still kind of going back and forth. We want to show respect, you know, for the name, but even though, like I said, the guy wasn't my father, you know, he wasn't really around, but I was considered a Carson, and the Carson side did accept me for, you know, for 47 years. I actually I haven't to this date, I haven't told them, like, you know, like in person or specifically reached out to them and say, hey, I'm not a Carson, you know, because I was like, I don't want to ruin that relationship, you know what I'm saying? Because for 47 years, I've been a Carson, y'all accepted me, we've been cool. And so now to take a step even further, a lot of people in Youngstown, since, you know, this is like a hometown thing, a lot of people know my wife's dad, Terry Taylor, because he played in the NFL. And so, you know, he threw his hat in the ring and was like, well, you know, I got a famous last name. Y'all need to be a Taylor. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I'm not doing a triple.
Let me tell you something. Don't do that. Don't take on the wife's last name.
No,
I'm not doing a triple hyphenation. So the conversation is, you know, either just keeping it Carson or Carson Mauzy. And because of the Mauzy's has so much pride, I'm leaning towards hyphenating it. And you know,
can I say something about this?
Because he a Mauzy now. You a Mauzy now, boy.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that occurs. So with like Ancestry.com, and you're trying to find your family, and okay, let me say this. Usually when a female has a child, and this is not your situation, but and if she was married before, she keeps that last, like my last name is Ross, but I'm divorced. So if I was to have a child by somebody else, it's going to be baby Ross. So that child is going to be Ross automatically. That's how the hospital does it. Now, if I have children and it's Ross, and there's no relation, now we're in the family tree and they're trying to connect the dots and there's no relation. That's why I think that hyphenation is a great idea, because I do know somebody who has the last name that they're carrying and there's no blood at all. And they have their children have their children. They all have that same name, but they're
never connect.
Down the line, they be like, well, where's my family at?
Well, I mean,
who are those people?
Well, so, the Mauzy comes with a pedigree. So, I mean, everybody know the Mauzy. And I mean,
and Carson does too. Let's
but and plus they all grew up in the same litter.
Wait, I gotta say this. You have my condolences. I didn't know Leslie was your sister.
Yes, Leslie Carson.
Love Leslie.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely want to put that out there. I'm like, wait, okay. But so I get that this is got to be a lot for you.
And can I also say, like Nate was saying, and that's what's really important, and that's why, see, Mauzy's, yeah, we have a legacy, but really take it deep is like we're the only Black Mauzy's.
Did you know?
Yeah, in existence.
Period.
Yeah.
There are no other Black Mauzy's, M-A-U-Z-Y, that is not real. If you are a Mauzy, M-A-U-Z-Y, and you're Black, you are ancestry DNA connected to us.
Right.
And we're still trying to figure out how we even got the last name, because we're not connected to any white Mauzy's either. No DNA connects us to any white Mauzy.
Ancestry paints a small picture.
Knox, you have two girls. Cousin Carson, you have boys?
Two boys, yes, ma'am.
How important as a father is the last name?
For them boys, it has to be. For those boys, it has to be.
Yeah, I want them to carry on, you know, the legacy of, you know, like I feel like I'm great and I'm raising them to be great, and I want them to have the last name to be proud of. And so, you know, that's why I really, you know, been considering, you know, hyphenating it, because I want my boys to know, like, I'm proud to be a Mauzy. You know, I it's weird enough. My kids listen to everything we say. Y'all know how that is. So my 5-year-old came up to me one day and was like, I want to be a Mauzy, just out of the blue. And I was like, well, you are a Mauzy because I'm a Mauzy.
Right.
But he just came out of the blue like, I want to be a Mauzy. And I was like, okay. like you already are a Mauzy because I'm a Mauzy. Now, just because I'm just finding out, you know, it's one thing, but I'm a Mauzy. So, you know, if you want to be a Mauzy, that's a great thing because, you know, I wanted to, like I said, I looked up to Danny, like, you know, just the coolest dude in the world. So
that's awesome. And
for me, I mean, I have a son and 2 daughters. So again, I mean, to me, Mauzy, the legacy lies in the male side for me. I mean, again, I know that ain't like,
but it's the truth.
I guess politically correct, but
it's the truth.
To me, I feel like our legacy really lies on the male side. We take a lot of pride in the type of men that we are, the type of men that we present ourselves to be, and the type of men that we're gonna raise. Now, again, the woman is obviously gonna probably go on and take their husband's last names, and I don't got no problem with that. But I do know a lot of fellas who don't like their last names, and you know they meet girls with better last names and be like,
"I ain't never seen it. That's gonna be another show."
No, I know a couple people that took their wives' last names only because number one, they wanted to disassociate from their slave name, you know what I mean, and their wives ended up having, you know, like a better cultural name, so they took those names. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the Black Mauzy name is one of the names as a daughter you might have to argue with your man about. Like, hold up now.
So, hey, for example, to give you some examples, some of the women, like I think one of my cousins whose her father is a Mauzy, right?
Right.
Okay.
So she had a son. I thought this was unique. So she's not, you know, she's a Mauzy until she gets married, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what she did was she named her first son Mauzy, Mauzy,
right.
And then he has the last name of his father. So a lot of even our women take a huge pride in being Mauzy. So even though they take on other names, like the women Mauzys take as much pride in the Mauzy name as the men.
The same reason why my mother.
If you look at Latino Hispanics, they have both of them.
Yeah.
The type of name. So they have the maiden and the actual, you know, father's last
name. And my mother decided to keep her last name because she was just like, again, kind of that slave thing was like, you know, her maiden name was definitely for sure a slave master's name. So after she got married and got divorced, she said, no, I'm gonna keep the name.
Okay, now I want to ask you this as fathers. Let me see. Oh, he's not even on. Look, I'm like, he's the one that's divorced. Look, what was the best life lesson that Danny boy gave
Danny ain't teach us nothing. Listen, stop you there. Stop you there.
Stop right there. He did.
Stop you there.
All right, wait.
Let's back up.
I can add something to it.
Okay, come on.
Okay. Oh, my bad.
It's still on the lines of what Cadillac is saying. I mean, he really taught us what not to do, and I'm not gonna say that to me, I don't think I would be the same person unless he was the type of father he was. Again, the youngest of 12, everybody took care of him. He was very spoiled. He was an athlete, so he got to school and everybody took care of him. He was the life of the party, so anywhere he went, everybody took care of him, and that was hard to translate into a father, you know.
But
he had no responsibility.
And it exudes even off the camera on the viral videos. You can see personalities coming out.
Oh, yeah. No, he's definitely the greatest person you'll ever meet, but at the same
but just
time,
wasn't a father.
He just didn't know how to be. He didn't really know how to be a father. I don't think, in my opinion. And that taught us how to be different, you know.
I think that's what makes.
He chose good women to balance that.
He did. No, he definitely chose
our mamas.
Yeah.
But I mean,
my grandmother.
listen. I'm gonna say this. I mean, because we not knocking Danny. We love Danny because he the reason we here.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, we were pretty much raised by our mothers or grandparents.
And I was pretty much raised by Mr. Cadillac here.
So real talk, like I literally
when it comes to manly stuff, like, you know, how to keep yourself clean, how to talk to girls, how to drive a car, how to, you know.
So you learned that from Cadillac?
I learned that from my big brother. Yeah, no, he made it a point.
Carson said the same thing.
And just
he made it a point.
Carson said the same thing.
But see, I made it a point. So again, we really telling y'all our real business for real. But see, again, Danny wasn't. The Mauzy's raised me. See, this is probably another story in itself. The Mauzy's raised me.
Right.
So everything, I was raised just like I was Danny.
Yeah.
But I wasn't raised by Danny. I was raised by everybody who raised Danny. But he wasn't really around. He was married, had Knox, and he was doing his own thing. Had a different family. But I was raised by them. But because I knew that he wasn't the type of father that instilled information, it was just something in me always as a child that I wanted to make sure that my brothers had what I felt that I didn't have.
Right.
And so as the big brother, I made sure that they were getting information and learning things that they need to learn as young men so that they could be successful. Because again, I knew Danny just didn't have the tools in his toolbox, or he didn't display that he had those tools to give to them. And I knew as a big brother coming up in Youngstown, how certain tools you need to survive and to become a man. And so I wanted to make sure I took the initiative, and I really get that to my mother. My mother instilled that loving, we all family thing, but I wanted to make sure that they had it.
And I'm gonna add one more thing, real quick, Carson. I'm gonna add one more thing. I did realize as an adult, I got all of my curiosity for tech from him, because he had everything when the day it came out. I mean, a car phone in the early 90s. We had a satellite television. We had screen TVs. We had the Nintendo. This is when they was married.
The first one, listen.
Right, yeah. When they was married, we was rich. We had drum machines. Like, my dad was the first person with a VCR on the block. Like, all of that stuff was instilled in me just because he had everything, and I grew up kind of being a gadget person. I wanted to try all the new stuff and buy all the new things, and that definitely directly came from his influence. So,
okay, let me add two things.
Fairway, what was the best life lesson that your dad gave you?
Wow. You know what? I think that, and I tell a lot of people this, one of the quotes that my dad told me is never get addicted to anything in this world, because we had addiction around our family and on both sides. So he said, never get addicted to anything in this world. And if you feel like you're getting addicted, then give it up for a little while, set a goal for yourself. So I've been doing that my whole life. I've been abstaining from everything. And he said that includes, wait a minute. Are we allowed to cuss on this show? Or
you sure can. It's ShopTalk, baby.
Okay. So he said that includes.
Listen, if you don't even say it.
He said.
Look at him laughing. Don't get addicted to anything. What did he tell you not to get addicted to?
So he said that includes candy, cocaine, and coochie.
There you go.
Smart man.
So he said, and honestly, I've been practicing it my whole life. I will always be like, if I feel like I'm abusing anything, I give it up for a while. I'll set a goal, 60, 90 days, whatever, 30. I was a vegan for about a year. I've done all kinds of stuff just to ensure that nothing can control me and nobody can control me with anything that they got. So it's probably it.
Okay. How about, I got a question for all you guys. Anybody have children out of wedlock?
I did.
Okay, so I have a question for you two. We're talking Cadillac and Fairway. Mm-hmm. Did you allow your children to choose your mate?
My children to choose? No. Never that. No way.
No. Because of Carson, he like, yeah.
I considered his opinion, but it wasn't. I mean, it didn't outweigh what I felt. You know what I'm saying?
I never considered any opinions. I always looked at it as, I mean, I monitored their relationship to see kind of how it is. And you know, Kay was on. Kay is my son out of wedlock, so I have 2 boys. So, but if he was on, he'd probably be able to elaborate about some of the women
I'm
that I've
definitely
had.
gonna get him. I'm gonna get him on in a minute. Let me ask you guys this, all 4 of you. What were the goals that you had prior to becoming a parent?
Well, me, I wanted to, because I'm a late parent. Like I'll be 48 this year, and I'll have a 4 and a 5-year-old.
Okay.
And so I always wanted to be a parent. Just God didn't see it that way. But I wanted to give my kids everything that I felt like I didn't have, and not even like monetary things. It was just more like I want to teach them how to be a man. I want to be there and show them what it is and be present. Just that's the biggest thing. I just wanted to be present in their lives. And I mean, if you'll see in episodes to come that like I'm everything to my 2 boys and they're everything to me. And so that was the for me, that was the only thing goal I had was like I didn't have a dad growing
prior
up.
to becoming a parent.
Yeah, I wanted to be a parent because I was like I
okay.
wanted to be a parent.
Okay, Cadillac, same question.
So for me, it's crazy you said that because I guess it made me think about what Knox said earlier in reference to Danny. One thing that I would say I learned from Danny, or I took from not having Danny involved in my life, was the only goal I've ever had all my life was to be a good father. It wasn't to play basketball. It wasn't to be rich. It wasn't to I even fight with this to this day right now, like finding myself after raising Mauzy Music. Like, who am I now? Because all my life I lived to be a good father because I didn't feel like I had one.
Right.
So the only goal, and again, like I said, I still struggle to this day. Like, what do you really want to do? What you doing with your life? Because all my life was focused on you're going to do everything for your child that you think you wanted for you. And that was really my only goal.
Okay,
was to be a good father.
Same question.
For me, how could I say? So before kids, I really got to a point where I didn't want kids. I didn't care to be married, and I was very content with that. Like, not in the sense of like I was avoiding it or thought it was something bad. It's just, all right, I'll tell you a weird story. I met this dude. My real name is Tony, if y'all don't know, but I met this dude at a party. He was real old. He looked like Jimi Hendrix, and his name was Tony the Aquarius. And we had a long conversation at this party. And he was just talking about how he had never had kids, and he was very, content with his life and had no regrets. And I was like, I can see myself being like that. Like, I'm not really pressed on having no kids. Like, it's cool. I was the youngest. I didn't seen all the troubles my brothers went through and all of the baby mama drama they went through. And I was like, I'm good. You know what I mean? And so I ended up meeting my wife, and she already had a daughter, but she was very young. And I think I fell in love with her daughter so much that I was just like, because I knew if I stay in this girl's life, I'm going to have to be her father. Like, and in that moment, I realized, like, I can't abandon this. You know what I mean? Like, she deserved better. And I made a decision to be a father, without even having my own kids. So I think it was just a thing that gradually happened over time. And, love will do that to you, especially with somebody that you're not going to find anywhere else. Like, it was one of those things. And so the rest of my kids was playing because I was like, oh, I'm good now. Like, what I mean? I did this father thing. I'm doing a great job. I'm ready to have some kids. So.
Okay, same question, Fairway. What was the goals prior to parenthood?
Yeah, so first I can vouch for Carson because he was dating a girl in high school who had a baby. I'm like, dude, stop trying to be a father already. He was still in high school, and nobody like that, especially back in them days, like, really, she is skank. But at any rate,
that's how you listen. Keep it 100.
Right. But at any rate, I think my dynamic is a little bit different because I'm the only one out of all of it, like out of everybody you've been talking to here, that had both parents in this house. So my dad is still with my mom right now, right? So I grew up with both my parents in the house. So it wasn't.
What was your goal prior to parenthood?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So prior to parenthood, I was already traveling the world. I was doing things that I wanted to do, right? I was an accountant very early. I was making a lot of moves. So I had money quick. And I was doing the things that I wanted to do, moving to different cities. Actually, I had a Cadillac came to live with me down in North Carolina for a little while. So I just really wanted to.
Oh, that's when you disappeared too.
So right before he went to Atlanta, he came to live with me in North Carolina.
I'm talking about you, Fairway.
Oh,
the
yeah.
people
He was all over Philly.
I lived there too.
I was
right,
in Philly,
one more.
Carson came and lived with us.
Oh, did he? Okay.
So, which was crazy. They was brothers and didn't even know.
What were your goals prior to parenthood?
Well, I'm like Fairway. My mom and dad are still together. So that's all I knew was to be there, and my example was set. So I had that. But I'm close to everybody. Me, Fairway, Cadillac, and Carson got history.
We
And
all grew up together.
Carson was on my porch with his
Okay,
woman.
wait, let's stay with the question because I got a ton. What was your goal prior to parenthood?
Just to be a good parent. But that's all I knew. That's all I ever seen.
That's interesting. That is very interesting. And I wanted to give that opportunity to see where your mindset was, because I know from a female's perspective, once we become pregnant, most of our goals is different now, but back then was to be the best mom.
Right.
And I wanted the listening audience as well as the viewers to get to know, not only are you guys funny, charismatic, doing your videos, get to know you personally. Even though, what's your hashtag, Knox?
Reality is a show.
Reality is a show. I love that. Doing that. So the skits are real and it's your real life and you guys are family men. Yeah. And I also wanted some of the listening audience to know that, guess what? Fathers being absent, it does affect your future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it depends on what direction that you want to go. Oh. I want to ask you guys this. What's your proudest achievement?
Well, can I give a shout out to
just in general?
Overall, just your person, you personally.
Go ahead.
And then I want to bring your children on.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Nate's dad because I grew up around him as well, and he was like a dad. He's like a man's man. And
that's the neighborhood raising.
Right, and I learned a lot just by observing him, being a father to his kids. Because Nate's little brother is my age, so we were, playing little league football, and the same thing for Fairway's dad. He's my uncle, but I observed him raising, his two boys, from afar. Even though he was family, it was one of those things I watched, so I could learn how to be a man myself because I didn't have it.
Great point, because I've always said, and I'm glad that you pretty much co-signed, that if you don't have that role model there, children will find a role model.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. Danny wasn't around, but it was a million men around me.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of good men in my life, too.
Yeah, we had a lot of men around us. My Uncle George, everybody, my cousins, we had men, and that was a good thing. Even though Danny may not have raised us, we was around a lot of men.
Our community.
The North Side had a good community, I will say that.
Yeah, we had community. And I was like I was saying, Carson was with me when he told me I'm going to marry her and we're going to have kids. I'm like, you that sure about this? And it'll seem like 2 weeks later, he did it. I was like, man, we sitting on my front porch. Do you remember that?
I do.
See, man. That's awesome. Now I have to ask this question. What is your proudest today? What's today? What's the date today? June 15th. 2024. Let's stamp it. What is your proudest achievement?
Mauzy Music. Mauzy Music is my proudest achievement.
That's your son.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Go ahead.
And he ain't on here, so it ain't even like I'm japping him up. But I'm gonna tell you, as a parent, I get a lot of compliments on his character.
He's a good kid.
As a parent, I get a lot of compliments on his generosity.
Okay.
As a parent, I get a lot of compliments about him as a person.
And that comes directly from you and his mama. So
right. And so again, with that being one of my first goals, seeing that what I put my work into actually has blossomed into something that's even more amazing than I thought. He's a much kinder person. He's a much more caring person. He's just a better person than me, and that's what I hope for it to happen. And even though we all hope that, that doesn't always happen to be true.
Right.
No matter how hard we try.
We're running out of time. Let me go to Fairway. Fairway, what's your proudest achievement as of today?
Well, I gotta say, it's got to be K since he started out with that.
Right. Oh, go ahead.
No, I am very proud. I am very proud of him. I mean, he is one of the smartest cats I know, but he never wanted to apply himself. If I'm being real, in high school, he didn't really take he probably knew math better than me, and that's very hard to say because I placed nationally in math in high school. And but he never just wanted to do it, right? So to see him now start applying himself to figure out what he wants to do, he's going through it. His character on the show is figuring out what he wants to do. But he don't call me asking me for money and all of this kind of stuff. He's exceeded my expectations for sure. And I'm very, very proud of that for sure.
Now, Nate the Agitator always talks about that.
Yeah, exactly the same. My son,
men.
I'm going to answer the same thing. My son, he's a representation of me. When he's out, people say, "Oh, you're Nate's son," and that alone, that pedigree, that iron that sharpens iron, it shows through. So that's my proudest thing. And my daughter, she's doing her thing.
Okay.
I mean, I'm proud to say, hey, when you hear Nate's kid, you like, oh, okay, and like anybody on this panel will be like, oh, you Nate's kids, let me take you in, and vice versa.
Sure.
Well, I'm your uncle. Come on, man.
Let me move on. Kay, what is your proudest achievement right now, June 15th, 2024?
I would say the parallel, honestly, like making my father proud, being a good representation of how he raised me. That means a lot to me. Like it always did. Like I always valued my father's opinion. So like hearing him say stuff like that. I mean, he said stuff like that to me, obviously before the panel, but like just knowing that, hearing that is a great accomplishment for me because it's like I'm not a father, but the way that everybody has explained how they want to be great fathers, I want to be a great son. I want to be a great representation of not only just my father, but everybody on the panel as well, just the family holding that Mauzy name, and just being a great representation, not having anything holding me back, and nobody having anything negative really to say about me when they ask or when they speak to my father. So that's a great accomplishment for me.
Okay. Cousin Carson, same thing. What's your proudest achievement as of today?
Man, Mauzy said, or Fairway said it, like I've always wanted to be a parent. So, having my two kids even later in life, is a blessing. On some of the shows it'll feel like a curse. But I mean, for me, that's I'm just trying to be the best dad that I can be, and that's having them and having that opportunity.
Okay, Knox, proudest achievement today.
For me, I guess it's along the same lines. Just I grew up with everybody telling me, "Oh, you're really smart. Oh, you're gonna go places." Like I was that kid. Like everybody was like, "You're the one that's gonna make it." And I guess my greatest accomplishment is just making sure that I did that. And I have a wonderful family. I have a wonderful career. Like I don't have any complaints when it comes to my family life or my career. And I think to me, that's my biggest accomplishment, is being able to be a father and a family man and not have any of those struggles and those, people be married, but they don't be happy. And I'm beyond happy. You know what
Keep
I
it
mean?
one. You're right.
Like when I tell you, like, I don't think people can find the situation that I'm in. It's very hard. I tell everybody, me and my wife are the exception. Like I don't never try to tell people how to have a happy marriage, because I think mine's is a unicorn situation. Like, we just two people that understand how to be in a relationship and how to help each other grow, and how to put our emotions and our negative trauma onto each other. You know what I mean? And it shows in our household, it shows in our careers, and it shows in our children. So
okay, good. Okay, I gotta ask you this question. How hard is it to be Fairway's son?
I don't think it's hard at all, honestly. I think
There's also some big shoes to fill.
It is, but I don't think it's really hard. I think our relationship, he's always allowed me to be myself. He's always allowed me to voice my opinion and kind of navigate things and learn from experience. So I don't think I've ever felt pressure to be one way or to uphold anything other than my own personal goals. And I give a credit to him for being able to do that, because a lot of people do grow up, especially when you do have an active father that is successful. A lot of people want you to mirror that and have lofty expectations for you. But I think just me being me and our relationship, I don't feel pressure or anything like to live up to goals or expectations. I just think he's done a great job of allowing me to navigate life.
Can I ask you this? I'm gonna be honest, one of the few to have both your grandparents still together and married today. How does that make you feel?
It's definitely something that doesn't go unnoticed. It takes a lot for them to make it. Obviously, longer than I've been alive, so I don't even know what that feels like to deal with a person that long. But it's definitely admirable. I appreciate the example that they've set as well. They've been nothing but good to me. They've done nothing but support my goals, and they've been an extension of everything that this family represents. So I just think they do a great job of being that good example. It's definitely something to it's aspiring, it's inspiring. So yeah.
I appreciate that. I'm going to ask all you guys a question before we go. And we got to answer this real fast. And this is going to be a hard one. What's most important? Family structure, family happiness, or discipline? So I'm going to give it to you again. Structure, happiness, or discipline? What you got, Fairway?
I think that happiness is most important for everybody in the whole world. I'm trying to get people to stop jumping off bridges. That's like one of my goals in life, is for everybody to be themselves and society to accept them as themselves. And that's kind of the whole premise of this show, is go get it, go do whatever you need to do, and don't care about what society thinks that you should be doing. Go after whatever you need to make you happy. Because once you make yourself happy, you can make everybody else happy.
Okay, Knox. Knox.
Yo.
Happiness, structure, or discipline? What's most important for you?
I'm gonna have to go with structure. I feel like you can't make nobody happy. Only you can make yourself happy. So I'm gonna go with structure, because to me that gives you discipline, and in return you'll be happy. You know what I mean?
Okay. Cadillac. Structure, happiness, or discipline?
Structure, happiness, or discipline. Fairway went with happiness. Knox went with structure. I'm gonna say discipline. Because I think, first of all, I probably would say love. Everybody needs love.
Three. Come on with the three.
But discipline,
Okay.
because if you have discipline, I mean, it just makes a difference. It makes a difference in life when you can discipline yourself to do things or not do things. It can put you in a lot of better positions than if you have no discipline. With
Okay.
discipline, a lot of rewards could, I think, come from that.
Okay. Cousin Carson, structure, happiness, or discipline?
I believe discipline, because I believe that you can get structure and happiness out of your discipline.
All right.
There we go.
All right, lovely people. We have come to the end of the show. Who we have on today, our guest was Mauzy Moves. Today's topic is who's your daddy? With the viral sensation, Mauzy Moves. Now you shoot out of Atlanta, correct?
We shoot
all over the place.
Yeah.
Detroit.
Y'all
we shoot all over. I'm in
place?
Detroit. I'm in Detroit. Kay is in Ohio. They're in Atlanta. Carson's
Jump
in Charlotte.
is in Ohio.
So y'all so Mauzy really moves.
Yeah, all over. We're Charlotte, Ohio, Columbus, Detroit, Atlanta.
When do y'all have time to shoot though? Like
we meet up.
We meet up. We meet up next week. And
each week.
shoot
That's
a bunch
awesome.
of episodes.
Listen, lovely people, Mauzy Moves. Mauzy Moves. You can find them on all social platforms. Check them out. Don't forget to follow and share the videos. Share. I can't say that enough.
Like, follow.
Share, subscribe. Ain't that what the kids say?
Right.
Like, follow, and share.
Thank you for having us on, Mel. Thank you for having us on. Thank you.
No doubt. Okay, we got some Detroit listeners. You see them on there, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Detroit.
What up, though?
What up, though, Detroit?
We gonna get here. We definitely gonna get here. I appreciate you guys coming on. Where else can they find you? Give us your contact information if they want you live.
Mauzy Moves on everything. Mauzy Moves. Mauzy Moves on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But if you want to see the full skits, you have to like and follow on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. Like and follow on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube to see the full skits.
And all of us have our own individual pages, so you can find those. We always got those tagged in, so you can.
You already have those on there?
Yeah.
Okay, so the people that are on Facebook, what's your Facebook names?
Mauzy Moves.
Just Mauzy Moves. All right.
Just go to Mauzy Moves. Follow us through Mauzy Moves. Mauzy.
Find us in the comments on our videos and stuff.
Okay. And you also can get that information here on Shop Talk with Mel. I'm on all platforms. And wherever you get your podcast, check it out. If you want to listen to the show, you can do that. And if you want to see their handsome faces, you can also do that as well. On any podcast, wherever you get your podcast, you'll find Shop Talk with Mel. And on all socials, and I'll have that information. You can inbox me. I'll make sure I get your information to these lovely fellas. Okay, knocks them fell down, huh?
Hey, it's important. We come out with a video every single day, daily. So this is
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. daily.
7 p.m. daily. Hey, consistency is it.
7 p.m. daily. We don't stop.
Yeah, some of y'all need to catch up.
Okay. And what I see with you guys and your success, I see that you have all three: structure, happiness, and discipline. Mauzy Moves, lovely people.
Much love.
Thank you.
Thank you, lovely people. Appreciate you much. You have no idea.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you. Carson, man,
yes,
shout
ma'am.
out. I'm gonna give today's show is dedicated in memory of Leslie Carson.
Thank you
for coming on. Thank you for coming on. All right, Nate, we did that. Thank you guys for listening in. We're at the end of the show. And today's footnote. Nate, you want to do it? It's Father's Day, baby. What you want to do?
Say it again.
I said it's Father's Day. You want to give today's footnote?
Hey, I'm gonna go try to spend some time with my father. He's doing a little better.
Okay.
And wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day. Hey, don't do nothing. Sit in your chair, play your video game. That's our holiday. That's what we're doing for the holiday.
Okay. Well, let me give a legitimate one. You have to find what's most important to you. We talked about the three things: happiness, structure, and discipline. what's most important to you. And remember, find you, embrace you, most importantly, always love you. And my slogan is always going to be what it is. It is okay to be you. Thanks for tuning in, lovely people. Ready?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll do it again. Find you, embrace you, and most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people, you know what it is. 1, 2, 3. ShopTalk.
Perfect. We're perfect.